welcome back to Wake Up with Dr. Cheryl. I'd like to start with a joke. Praying for money. A businessman who needed millions of dollars to clinch an important deal went to church to pray for the money. By chance, he knelt next to a man who was praying for $100 to pay an urgent debt. The businessman took out his wallet and pressed $100 into the other man's hand. Overjoyed, the man got up and left the church. The businessman then closed his eyes and prayed, "And now, Lord, that I have your undivided attention." In my research recently, I found these interpretations of an unconditional love. People keep asking me, what does this mean? So this is why I'm talking about it again. Since this affects how we handle everything in our lives, unconditional love is known as affection without limitations. This term is sometimes associated with other terms such as true altruism, complete love, or mother's love. Each area of expertise has a certain way of describing unconditional love, but most will agree that it is the type of love which has no bounds and is unchanging. It is a concept comparable to true love, a term which we more frequently use to describe love between lovers. By contrast, unconditional love is frequently used to describe love between family members, comrades in arms, and between others in highly committed relationships. An example of this is a parent's love for their child, no matter a test score, a life-changing decision, an argument, or a strong belief. And the amount of love that remains between this bond is seen as an unchanging and unconditional. In psychology, unconditional love refers to the state of mind in which one has the goal of increasing the welfare of another despite any evidence of benefit for one another, oneself. And I'll add, not being too judgmental and criticizing, and this starts with your relationship with yourself. On a neurological basis, there has been some evidence to support a neuro basis for unconditional love, showing that it stands apart from any other types of love. In a study conducted by Mario Beauregard and his colleagues, using the fMRI procedure, which means functional magnetic resonance imaging, they studied the brain imaging of participants who were shown different sets of images, either referring to maternal love, unconditional love, or romantic love. 7 areas of the brain became active when these participants called to mind feelings of unconditional love. 3 of these were similar to areas that became active when it came to romantic love. The other 4 active parts are different, showing certain brain regions associated with rewarding aspects, pleasurable, non-sexual feelings, and I won't touch the sexual one. And human maternal behaviors are activated during the unconditional love portions of the experiment. Through the associations made between different regions, results show that the feeling of love for someone without the need of being rewarded is different from the feeling of romantic love. Using the fMRI procedure, mothers watched a video of them playing with their children in a familiar environment like home. Emotion and empathy, compassion are descriptive words of love. In other words, it supports the idea that the neural occurrences are evidence of unconditional love. Here are some startling facts I read this week. Washington Reuters reports says the Pentagon needs up to budget $12.6 billion. This is phenomenal. Each year through 2037 to finish developing and paying for all the Lockheed Martin corporate F-35 fighters it plans to buy, according to the report leased by a congressional watchdog agency on Monday. This is insanity. Where's the peace and using this money for developing and fixing the situations in our government and for the people in our country? I am very honored and have a wow guest this evening, Dr. Richard Allen, D.C. This is the first part of a 2-part discussion with Dr. Richard. Dr. Richard Allen, a healer, has been a licensed chiropractor since 1979 and is gifted in the art of kinesiology, muscle testing, and is certified in myofascial release technique. Richard has perfected his art of detecting unconscious blocks, which are the saboteurs of the way of our success. He is gifted with hands that transform bodies from being energetically asleep to wide awake and functioning optimally. Dr. Richard has had his own radio show out of San Francisco, KEST 1450 AM, from 1995 to 2012, where he had weekly talks on health, relationships, and finances. For the last 10 years, he has led workshops on how to use fundamental tools and new perspectives to create a life so it maintains sustainability with more fun and ultimate success for his clients. Richard helps highly motivated and creative business leaders achieve greater levels of success with ease and certainty. For the past 33 years, as a chiropractor healer specializing in spinal attunement and energy alignment, Dr. Richard has helped thousands of people achieve their better health by developing a deeper connection to their body. This enables them to come into vibrational harmony with their true innate being. Most of his clients work themselves too hard, and Dr. Richard teaches them how to access their own inner wisdom and guidance to come into full integration and realization of their innate gifts, talents, and abilities. Dr. Richard works with his clients in person and over the phone to customize a program specifically for them. Richard's processes allow his clients to unravel the misguided belief systems that compromise their confidence, access and strengthen their own internal guidance system, and he teaches them to develop a relationship and dialogue with their bodies so they can interpret the information it is providing for them. His contact information will be on during and at the end of the show. Richard, thank you for coming and sharing with us on this wonderful day.
Well, thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you being here. And I guess I met you a couple years ago at an event at the Cove.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about you, and I thought you'd be a good person to come on here and share. And I know you teach, and I think you have some valuable information to share. So
well, thank you.
I'd like to start with the first question, and that's, tell us how you were taught in your family, your friends, teachers, whatever, around wealth. Well, first of all, tell us where you're from.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, how we start there. Well, I'm from New York. I grew up in Queens, Flushing, and was raised by a Catholic family. My dad was pseudo-Catholic. My mom was more of the devout religious type, so she had us marching to church every Sunday.
And you have 3 siblings?
3 siblings. I have 2 older sisters and 1 younger brother. And we also went to parochial school. So
you did? For how long?
For 8 years.
Oh, okay.
So from 1st to 8th grade.
Yeah.
So I had
how was that? Okay, I won't ask.
It was like, how was the concentration camps in Nazi Germany?
Oh,
I mean,
God.
It was pretty close, I would imagine.
You didn't get smacked on your hand with a ruler, did you?
Maybe once or twice.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
that
okay.
was,
yeah.
It
was still doing that?
Tiny little bits here and there, yeah. You know, it was not an extremely friendly, relaxed environment.
Yeah.
A lot of the nuns were very uptight and controlling.
Right,
yeah.
right. So how did your parents educate you around wealth?
Well, they didn't educate. Well, I mean, we all get an education. Even if it's not there, it's there.
Right. You're getting it.
You're getting it.
Whether
it's actually there or not, because
right.
you watch. So the common thread in my household was my mom and my dad fighting over money almost every night at the dinner table.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's very common.
It's very common.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so my first initial thought was, as a kid, like, if this is what money creates, I'm not sure I really want any. Yeah. Because I thought families which were supposed to be about love, about connection, about supporting one another, and here I have my mom and dad who are always fighting, complaining, suffering. There's not enough money. Where
So you got not enough.
we had not enough.
Not enough.
Yeah, there was a lot of scarcity going on.
Yeah.
But my mom would say, if you do get any by chance, make sure you save it.
Yeah.
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 So I actually learned from a young age that I should save some of my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some.
So that's easy for you to do.
It is easy. And I
Okay.
actually like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
It's kind of fun. And I watch
So
it grow
thanks
and
to
grow
your
and grow
mom.
and grow. Yeah, thanks to my mom. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have a nice relationship with saving money. My dad he did not know how to handle money very well. He actually made quite a bit in his business.
What did he do?
He was a professional, what do you call it, like a headhunter.
Oh, okay.
So he placed
Yeah.
engineers, doctors.
Employment,
Yeah, it was professional employment
Okay,
agency. Recruiter.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but it was sort of more of a high end. He'd get them for top corporations. So he'd make decent money.
Yeah.
But yet he didn't manage it well.
Mm.
So he'd give a lot of money to the workers and he'd come home with little to none for himself.
Yeah.
It was very strange. I think it was due to some of his own training
Yeah,
and maybe
well,
some of his own guilt about things that went on with him as a child as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, my dad's theory was, it's interesting. He would say, it's a dog-eat-dog world, son. So get strong, be tough, and go out there and take what you want because no one's going to give you anything.
Yeah.
That was.
I think that's very common.
Yeah.
Now,
And it was
know.
like, work hard and go out and grab whatever you can. And it was like, I would hear this as a little kid. I was 5, 6 years old, 7. And I'm going like, that just doesn't
Too
sound right.
much information for your
Yeah,
young.
it just didn't sound right. Something within me, it just didn't click. I think at a young age, I knew somewhere that was misinformation,
Yeah.
that it wasn't accurate.
Yeah.
And then now in my later years, I know for sure
Yeah.
that it was mismanaged information.
When did
Because-
you wake up to that realization that, to apply it to your life?
Yeah.
When did you really get it that was wrong information?
Well, I had the good fortune when I was in my early 20s to study with a yogic master from India. And he had a very opulent sense of money. He grew up actually in a very rich family in India. And his father was a medical doctor, and his mother was a professor. And he said when he was little, he used to play with rubies and gems and diamonds, just like they were marbles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had so much wealth.
Right.
And then when the whole switch came in India and Pakistan made their whole, they all lost a lot of wealth. But initially, they had a lot. So his whole thing was, money is awesome, it's great.
And there's more than enough.
Yeah, there's more than enough, and you should live life to the fullest and receive money and be grateful, because creation, God, however you want to say it, is here to supply us with as much as we can open our hearts to receive. And so that was a blessing.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, that was a blessing. So I went from scarcity and having to work hard and penny pinching quite a bit
Yeah.
to all of a sudden like, whoa, I can have money and it's
And
really
it's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in my early 20s, I stepped into being a chiropractor. I went to school for 4 years.
What made you want to be a chiropractor?
Oh, it's an interesting story, and I love this one. My wife at the time, we were only married about a year, but we lived in Berkeley, and she was a nurse, staff nurse, RN for Kaiser Permanente.
Mm-hmm.
So one day she was lifting a patient from the gurney to the bed, and she hurt her back pretty severely.
Yeah.
So she was home on her back for 3 days, taking drugs and medication, and nothing was changing, nothing was helping. So I was relating this to a friend of mine at work, and he was saying, oh, really? Well, I'm seeing a chiropractor over in Oakland.
What were you doing for work at the time?
I was working,
If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I was working at a little place called The Raven in Berkeley. It was like one of the very first Whole Food type restaurants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. It was a fun little job. We made fresh juices and
So
like
all wholesome, healthy stuff.
healthy food.
Yeah. So your friend.
Yeah, he
was
said
t-
he was really encouraging me. You should like make an appointment, go see my doctor, chiropractor in Oakland, and let's see what happens. And I'm going, chiropractor, what's that? What do they do? I'm kind of clueless, but I thought, what the heck? So we made an appointment, brought her. He took an x-ray, examined her spine, and found that there was, in the lower back, around T11, T12, there was a few vertebrae that had slipped out of place. So he made the adjustment. He made the adjustment, and really within less than 24 hours, she was back to work and feeling great, out of pain.
Miracle, yeah.
If that wasn't enough,
witnessed.
So 3 weeks later, she had a chronic acne problem all over her back, her chest, and her face. And the only way it would ever alleviate or go away is when she took sulfur drugs or antibiotics. But she knew how dangerous that was, so she just didn't do it, right? Because she just didn't want the side effects of that. Yeah. So 3 weeks later, after her first adjustment, and she got several more after that, all of her skin cleared up.
Oh, wow, yeah, see.
And I was amazed. I said, doctor, did this have some correlation with the adjustment? He said, well, absolutely, because the vertebrae that was out of place comes off the spinal cord, where the spinal nerves wrap around to the kidneys.
Yeah.
And they were pinching the kidney nerve supply, so they weren't functioning optimally. So the kidneys are the primary organ of elimination, but the skin is the largest. So if the kidney's not working, the skin will compensate for it. So it was releasing the toxins, and it would come up as boils and acne all over her skin.
Wow.
So the adjustments restored proper nerve function to the kidneys.
Yeah.
Her kidneys, her skin no longer had to do the job anymore. So it cleared up.
Right.
So that was like, when I saw that, and he explained that to me, he said, sign me up, I'm going to school, this is what I want to do. Because I was looking for something to do, and my wife, as an RN, I said, why do you like doing what you do?
Yeah, right.
And she said, well, I like helping people, it's really rewarding. And I said, I want to do something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful, because it's been a blessing. I've served so many people, and I've learned so much along the way in my years.
Well, I had a phenomenal experience with you myself, and it took me 2 years after meeting you, because I witnessed how you were working on Carol at the time, and but at the time I guess I didn't feel like I wasn't ready or whatever, and I had a phenomenal experience with you, and thank you again for giving me that experience and your healing ability. I had a wow experience because you actually tapped in to something that I had, not that I had permanently forgotten, but because I'm talking about spirituality and wealth and money, and I need to be healed on that level all the way through. It's a lifetime thing, but you assisted me on some deep level to kind of shift and release some old stuff that was going on. So I have been feeling free around that.
Yay!
So I thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to be on the show, because that connection, my purpose and passion is to help people become aware and awake around spirituality and money, because it's integral. It's all in one. And in our society, it has been separate, and it can't be separate anymore, especially with all the inequities and crimes that have been, unraveling and surfacing today. It seems like every week I'm reading something new about inequities that are being aware, and lawsuits that are, Wall Street is finally waking up a little bit around all this cover-up on, so it is starting to happen.
It is.
But I have to practice what I preach. But anyway, getting back to you, I appreciate your gift.
Thank you.
And you are gifted.
Thank you. And it was a pleasure to work with you. I actually had a lot of fun. We laughed much. And I have found through the years of doing, we'll call it the transformational healing work that I do, and that's sort of a blanket statement. And a lot of people are using that, but what I really do is I find the unconscious, we'll call it blocks, that keep you from being as successful as you want to be. And it could be not only around money, but it could be about relationships, about opening your heart to yourself, about waking up every day and feeling like, wow, I am so happy to be alive.
I'm grateful.
I am so blessed that I am me, that I have this body. And truth, what I feel, Cheryl, is that that is the root of prosperity consciousness. To feel that every breath that we take is so blessed, and that every interaction we have with another human being is so blessed, and every opportunity we have just to create a smile or send somebody just good thoughts or a well wish is such an amazing opportunity to just promote more wellness and more prosperity.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And I practice that every day when I get up in the morning, because to me it's the only way. And gratitude, that's the first thing I do in the morning is gratitude, and then into my meditation and then my prayers for everybody on this planet to wake up.
Yeah. I want to piggyback off of what you said about what's happening in the world around money, because a lot of people, especially people who tend to be more on the spiritual side, they've given money the bad rap. Like money is the problem, money is evil, money is what creates, the wars, the greed, the gluttony. And
it's not money.
No.
It's the people. It's the attitude towards it.
It's almost like saying, do guns kill? No, but people with holding guns in their hands, they will kill using a gun, right?
Right.
So, if you have money and you give it to a person who is well-intentioned and good-hearted and generous, that money that they have will just make them more of that. And on the other hand, if you give money to someone who is greedy and selfish and is mean and is abusive of power, and they have more money, they'll just use it to be more abusive, more mean,
until they wake up,
and more gluttonous.
Until they wake up, and look at Bernie Madoff. He's sitting and rotting in prison.
Yeah,
because he didn't wake up.
That's got to be a wake-up call, and sometimes people don't wake up.
I know, and that's just that's their choice, and it's a choice. It's totally a choice.
Yeah.
So. There's more than enough, and I've said this before, there's more than enough money on this planet for everyone, even the babies and in Africa and India, to have $8 to $10 million apiece. Now, when I first found that out, like 2 years ago, and I know maybe the numbers have switched a little bit because of the economy, and it is starting to come better, but that was phenomenal to think, and only the top 2%, or I shouldn't say the top 2%, but the 2% have the lion's share of that.
Of the money, yeah.
Yeah, but you could have that amount, I could have, and everyone can have that amount. But you know what? Probably 98% wouldn't know how to manage it, because they don't think in that, with my career background that I've had. It's no big deal. It's just another zero.
Sure.
But people don't think big enough, or they don't think that they deserve it, or they're not honored. They don't feel honored enough to have it.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I've seen some studies where they research people who have won millions of dollars, like in the lotto or some other sales promotion, and usually within a year or two later, they spend all the money and they're in worse debt.
Yeah. Because they don't understand how to, preserve it, for one,
well,
save
one.
it,
Yeah,
but they don't know how to manage and put themselves on a budget.
And that's two.
Yeah.
But the third one, which I really think is the biggest one, is that somewhere they just don't really feel like they deserve it.
Yeah.
See, what I found in my own life is, like, in order to keep the money flows going for me, I have to feel so in love with myself that every cell of my being just sings with joy, and that I honor and love that being of me, and I experience it from a place of deep gratitude and appreciation. When I wake up in the morning and I go to sleep at night and all through the day, I live the energy of that. And it's so attractive, the universe loves it, that they go, look at this guy, he's in love with himself, in love with life. Let's just give him more of that. And I watch and I feel.
Not in a narcissistic way, but in an authentic,
all.
Real, heartfelt way.
Exactly. And so what happens is.
And mindful way.
Yeah. So like attracts like, because I am the energy of that, and I be the energy, I draw energy like that to me. I'm blessed.
Yes.
But that's something we can all have.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm on a journey here to touch as many people as I can, to also help awake them too, to know that they can have, you know, the pot of gold that looks like it's way over there, over across the rainbow. No, it's actually right here.
Well, it's here and here.
Yeah.
It starts in the mind.
Yeah.
And then it solidifies itself in the body and the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the mind has to be able to conceive it, right?
Absolutely.
And oftentimes our minds we allow our minds to play so small and filled with so much negative, judgmental criticism and condescending things.
Yes, and that's totally non-unconditional love.
Oh yeah, it's the opposite. So when I first studied with my spiritual teacher, he said, the longest journey you'll ever take is actually the shortest distance. And I went, what?
Yeah, yeah. I've heard that before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he said it's like from
right
your
here.
mind,
Oh, it's right there.
from your mind to your heart.
Yeah.
It's only 12 inches, the shortest distance, and it'll be the longest journey.
Yeah.
Who here is brave enough to take it?
Yeah. Change. It has the power to uplift, to heal, to stimulate, surprise, open new doors, and bring fresh experience and create excitement in your life. Certainly, it is worth the risk. And that was by Leo Buscaglia. Remember, he was Dr. Love. Never give up on your pursuit of your purpose and passion, and even if you don't know what that is, work with integrity and have a positive attitude wherever you work, and especially with your family and friends. Don't talk about other people. This just reflects who you are and aren't. Be grateful for what you have, who you are, and be grateful for your freedom, and eat healthy. Good nutrition feeds the mind and your body temple. And don't forget to feed your spirituality with meditation and prayer and with unconditional love. And firstly, love yourself unconditionally and share your abundance and wealth with others. Thanks for watching, and please support Marin TV that brings you these messages. Bye for now, until next time.